Hey guys, welcome to Motoroids. My name is Amit and this is the Scram 440. Yes, you heard it right. The engine here, which was a 410 unit, which was also shared with the previous Himalayan, has now been bored by 3mm and is now 443cc, and the torque and the power has increased, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's talk about the changes first that have been made to this motorcycle. And to start off, as you can see, there are 5 different colorways, and this one here is the white, grey and teal color. This one here is a blue and white, and as you would observe, both these vehicles have alloys on them, and that one there, the green and white, comes with spoked wheels, and the tires on that motorcycle are tube units, and that grey motorcycle there is again one with alloys and tubeless tires. There's another colorway which is missing here, and that colorway is white and light blue, and it is all matte. Now let's also talk about the changes that have been made to this motorcycle. Now, thanks to the bore down engine, the power is up by about 4.5%, and the increased power output is 25.4 HP. The torque is also up by 6.5%, and the increased torque output is now 34 Newton meters. So that should endow this engine with more power, low end tractability, and what Royal Enfield also suggests is that the vibrations on this motorcycle have also been reduced. We cannot attest to that at this point in time, but we'll get to see once we ride this motorcycle. Now, the suspension travel on this motorcycle, thanks to the fact that this is an on and off-road kind of motorcycle, is 190 mm up front, and at the rear you have 180 mm of suspension travel. The tires here, as you can see, are dual purpose tires. They can be used on and off the road. Another change that has been brought about is that the seat height has been reduced, and now the seat height here is 795 mm. So it's a little bit more accessible to the riders who are not very tall. Some changes have been made to the motorcycle based on the feedback that Royal Enfield received, and the chassis here has been reinforced, and what Royal Enfield has to say here is that it is now sturdier and can take the beating that off-road use has to offer a lot better. Another feedback that has been taken into account is the switchability for the ABS system, and as you would see, there is this little button here, and you can press this to switch the rear ABS off. The switchgear here is different from what you would see on the motorcycle on the J series platform and the Interceptor platform. So the buttons here are very different to what you'll see on, say, the Classic 350 or the Meteor. You have this on and off button here, the ignition kill, you have hazard here. The exhaust is something that you'd want to listen to, and we'll fire this baby up now for you to listen to the exhaust sound of this machine, although we don't think it would be very sonorous or very different from what we have right now on the Scram. Now while we are at it, let's also have a look at the instrument console, and the speedo is marked until 160, and you have this fuel gauge here and a clock along with the gear indicator, a trip meter, and apart from that you have an odo. The 2 trip meters can be toggled through using this button here. This is what the key looks like. It's a very familiar unit. And a few other changes that have been incorporated on the motorcycle is that now it gets more payload, so you can put a top box. It gets the capability to have a stay at the back, and this top box gets 40 liters of capacity. There are 7 new accessories that have been introduced with this motorcycle. The halogen light, which was there on the earlier Scram, has now been replaced with this LED unit, which we have seen elsewhere on other RE motorcycles as well. The brakes, which were again a big complaint by a lot of users, have been upgraded, and they are supposedly sharper, they have more bite, and the brakes have been upgraded not just up front but at the rear as well. As I mentioned, this motorcycle gets switchable ABS, so you get an ABS at the rear also, so it gets dual channel ABS. Up front you have a 100 section tire, and at the rear you have a 120 section. The wheel setup here is a 1917 setup. And talking about a few other changes that this motorcycle has undergone, the gearbox is now a 6-speeder unit, which means that you'd probably be able to get a significantly better top speed on this motorcycle. Also, a part of the engine transmission setup is that the engine is smoother, as well as the gearbox is now less notchier, but we'll be able to attest to that once we ride the motorcycle. Now we know that the Himalayan already had a fantastic engine when it came to low-end tractability, and with the longer stroke here, this engine should be even more tractable. And if you're someone who's going to be taking this motorcycle off the road, I really think that this is going to be significantly more capable than the motorcycle that it replaces. Not just that, with the stiffer chassis, I believe that this motorcycle should be better on the road as well and should handle a lot better. Who is this motorcycle for? Well, this is for someone who gets intimidated by bigger motorcycles like, say, the Himalayan, and also the Himalayan comes with a liquid cooled engine which is more expensive. That motorcycle has more tech bits, it's more expensive, so this motorcycle will also be at a lower price point. It's more accessible, it's usable in your day-to-day life. You can use it as a commuter motorcycle, take it out on the weekends and use it for the odd off-road purpose as well. The prices for this motorcycle have not been revealed yet. The prices will be revealed somewhere in mid-January, although the bookings will start from 15th December. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. The design has not changed at all, but this definitely is a reasonably better product, at least on the specs and from what Royal Enfield tells us. How good or bad it is, we'll be able to let you know once we take it out for a spin. Until then, this is your friend Amit Changani signing off. Rev hard, rev free, and ride safe.